Maureen Quigley and Hank Klueber are a mother and son who have been journeying the road of human rights advocacy for the past 26 years. Hank is physically challenged and as a nonverbal communicator, working to ensure that Hank be listened to and respected has been an extremely important part of both of their lives. They are both very grateful to be here and honored to share some of their story. Please welcome Maureen Quigley and Hank Klueber.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maureen Quigley, and this is my son, Hank Klueber. Hank is a little tired. It's been a long day so far, but he really wants to be here. Hank was born in 1990. Hank was born in 1990, the very same year that the Americans with Disabilities Act was created and put into law, and the year that the Education for All Handicapped Children Act was renamed IDEA, or Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Hank is extremely kind, extremely smart, extremely loving, and has a syndrome called 5Q-. What this means is that he has some genes missing from one of his chromosomes and therefore has very low muscle tone, which affects his ability to speak. But as the saying goes, not being able to speak is not the same thing as not having anything to say. So Hank, using a method called facilitated communication on a keyboard, has prepared a thought that he would like for me to share with you at the end of our time here. When Hank was 4 months old, his father and I entered him into an early intervention program at the E. John Gavra Center in Auburn, New York. We live in Syracuse, but my sister was a speech pathologist at the Gavra Center, and I felt safe bringing Hank there. Safe because I was pretty much scared all of the time. My world had become one of operations and hospital stays and doing everything I could to help Hank to reach his highest potential. The Gavra Center was incredible, fostering the beginning of Hank's journey to rise above his physical limitations to become the very best version of himself that he could be. In 1993, when Hank was 3, we entered him into an incredible inclusive preschool in Syracuse called the Juwonio School. Juwonio began in 1969 as an alternative school for children whose families wanted a more open and individualized approach than they felt they could find in a public setting. The name Juwonio comes from the word in the Onondaga Nation language, which means to set free. The school's founders chose this name because they believed that education should be freeing minds and emotions to learn and grow, freeing individuals from stereotypes and prejudices. After Juwonio, Hank entered the public school system's inclusive education program, and to get there, he loved riding on the school bus, one that fully accommodated his wheelchair with an aid to keep him safe. I spent all of Hank's school years very closely involved in his education, in the classrooms, in principals' offices, with administrators, and on the Parent Advisory Board for Special Education. This group, like Juwonio, had been started by parents several years before Hank was born, and had become a very important place for parents in the Syracuse City School District to meet, share ideas, and advocate together for their children. Because Hank is very smart and is a nonverbal communicator, I knew that he would easily fall through the cracks if I didn't advocate strongly for him. Hank attended Fowler High School in Syracuse and graduated in 2011. Fowler is located almost directly across from the old Syracuse Developmental Center, a place where many people with disabilities spent their entire lives. I have spent some time in that building because it had been turned into several New York State offices for developmental disabilities. I disliked being in that building very much. On days that I was feeling fearful, discouraged, or frustrated about something that was happening in school for Hank that I felt up against, I would look across the way at that building and think, but the doors for Hank are open now. We may still have our work cut out for us, but the doors are open. This is in large part due to the work of Hillary Rodham Clinton. As most of you know, Hillary's first job out of law school was with the Children's Defense Fund, and one of her first tasks was going door to door to figure out why so many children were missing school. She found that many parents were not sending their children to school because schools did not accommodate disabilities. The evidence she gathered was presented to Congress, and it helped build the case for the passage of the law that ensures all children with disabilities have access to school. The freedom and rights of people with disabilities has come a long way. And over the past 26 years, I have seen a great many positive changes in the schools, in our communities, and in social services. And I believe that when one group cries out for change in human rights, we all benefit. I am grateful for the likes of Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and Gloria Steinem. For Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and Hillary Clinton. I am grateful for all who have come before us, for the parents and other advocates for the disability community who have fought so hard to keep those doors open, to continue to widen our path of freedom. I am grateful for all of the voices that have let themselves be raised and made themselves be heard, whether spoken, expressed with eye gaze through a computer, typed with facilitated communication, or shouted from the rooftops. My hope, my deepest prayer is that we will never be silenced again, that none of us will ever be silenced again. Hank, his father Marty, and I will never give up. The valley that lies before all of us gathered here today may be deep and low, but we will rise. Under the threat of discrimination and oppression, we will always rise. We can and we will because we have to. In closing, here are the words that Hank expressed and would like to share with you all today. Thank you for allowing me to be here. We are stronger together. We get stronger every day. Thank you.